I see, so guys, sometimes your voice memo may freeze on you when you press play in terms of when you unpause it, or when you're pressing play to record. And sometimes nothing shows up in terms of the voice memo and there's no waveform or anything, and it's like something froze. So just stop the program and then start again when the waveform starts really promoting itself. So make sure you understand that if you have physical attraction, or let's say any kind of attraction with somebody, then go and give them your business card and give them an event date, and make sure that you're promoting your events to them as well, so that they can see you and so they can find you as well, and so that they can come watch you. I mean, make sure you understand to always be giving people a service or recollection about whatever's happening in the world, and you're making sure that you're nice and beautiful for yourself in a way that you're learning quickly to connect all the audios together and to be able to give people stories about you in those nice and beautiful ways of life always. So you can always understand straight away that you can always name your nice beautiful content in a way that's helping you. So always find that nice and beautiful attractive factor about you in a way that, find the nice and beautiful attractiveness about what you need to do. So I focus upon understanding that if I do that, then focus upon making sure that you always be nice and beautiful. So if you're focusing on making sure that you never break up your communication with people, but do everything subliminally if you want to. There's always a way for you to do anything subliminally. So I'm always understanding that way. I'm always learning how to go and succeed. So I'm always learning how to be attractive with success. I'm always understanding that I need to go and succeed differently. I have to succeed differently in a different way today, always. Because something in my life is always changing, but life is so quick, isn't it? Life is quick, but guess what? You must understand that what you need to do daily is learn different aspects of life with yourself, and you have to be always upon better communicational skills with your life, and you have to be doing something to succeed, and you have to make sure that you're very much more attractive than other people. And then you're making sure either way that you're doing something that's helping you move forward, and that you're nice and beautiful for yourself. So that's the whole point, guys. The whole point is making sure that you have that beautiful love for yourself to succeed in different ways. So I love life so much to understand that now. I'm much more attractive than I'm much more attractive than all the people on the planet. If you're much more attractive, then guess what, I promise you, it's much more how people feel attractiveness for you. You feel something that you can do better always. And you can always do better. So what I feel now is, since that's the case, I'm always feeling better. I'm always feeling better about that. I'm always feeling better that I can do better than what I'm doing. And that way I'm always doing something different. But I understand now, what I want to do is understanding this. I love life. Actually, since my nice and beautiful life is doing something better, I want to be making sure that since I'm about to speak to somebody online, I'm about to speak to somebody in a nice and beautiful appointment here at the bank, I want to be making sure that I make notes over here about what I want to ask them. I want to ask them about information about the bank. I want to ask them about interest rates. I want to ask them about interest rates. I want to ask them about financial hazards they do. I said financial hazards. I want to ask them about, let's say, the nice and beautiful credit card loans. So credit card loans. I want to ask them about how to do something else in terms of lifestyle. I understand these loans. I want to ask them about different debit cards. So different debit cards. I want to ask them about mortgage rates. I want to ask them about the worst. I want to ask them about the worst percentages and the best percentages. So the worst percentages. Say the best percentages. I'm writing notes now. I'm writing notes. This is why I write something physically down, so I can always remember what I need to ask people. So anything else I want to ask about them, I want to ask about any type of loan. I want to ask about loans. I want to ask about loan information, or there's any kind of loan information here. And then I'm giving you all that kind of information right away. So I'm working for you now. I'm going to the bank to get the information to give it to you. And that's it. Understand? So anyway, what else do I want to give from the bank? I realized that in the banks of today, I realized that you can go and transfer you can transfer $10,000 or any amount of money in terms of banks right away. But the machines of the ATM, they allow you only to get $2,000 a day at the banks with the plastic money. So I understand that what you can do with the banks in terms of anything is you go to the bank and understand that they can always transfer any money anywhere. But you must understand that you can transfer $50,000 on any given day to anybody in the banks. and you can do it yourself. But anything more like $1 billion or $2 billion or maybe $500,000 or whatever it is, then what happens is you can understand that they have to do that. I mean, they are the ones who have to promote that. So every single day, understand that if anybody has a disability, then they have a disability because they are never speaking as many words. So my beautiful cousin, which is my sister Ivana, who's my half sister, has a disability, and she never speaks words in a way that I do. I mean, she's speaking words, but she's never speaking as many words. She's never speaking as many words as other people, is what I'm saying. And anybody who has a disability like that is somebody who may be a retard or something like that. But guess what? It's what they label it as somebody who has mental health issues. But I love retards. I love everything. I love that kind of thing. But I'm giving you the notion of what my half sister is. But she's a beautiful woman. She's so beautiful, and you must understand she never hurts you. She never hurts you. She followed Jesus Christ. Make sure you understand that either way. You must understand every single day. Understand that what you want out of life is understand that if anybody is mentally in a retard kind of way, then they have ADHD, and they have, let's say, a label of sickness in the way of words. It's more they need words to speak, and you have to be with those people in a way for them to speak more words to you. And you have to teach them how to speak words. And now, anyway, I realize all they need really is to be around people. Anybody who is sick today has to be around people for people to take care of them, and that's it. If you're willing to take care of somebody else in life, then you are somebody who is stepping up to lead those people, and that's it. It's much more leadership for you anyway. So what I want to do with the banks now, I want to make sure I can ask them some more questions over here. I want to ask them about Bitcoin information. I'll say Bitcoin, say anything else about life. I want to ask them what else. What else can I ask over the banks? So here, honestly, I do have a brochure over here, and I want to see the brochure. But where is the brochure? The brochure is right here. Credit card information here. Whereas anyway, I'll read everything. I want to read everything here. I want to make sure anyway that I want to always just understand about low fee accounts. I see platinum awards. I'll ask them about different award systems. So award systems. I want to ask them about award systems. I'm looking at the nice beautiful ways over here. And what I want to do is I want to read everything. I want to make sure anyway that I want to go over the information. But as I read, I do it subliminally as I talk to you. So I want to ask them about contracts. I want to ask them about different contracts. I say different contracts. I say different contracts. Say different contracts. And what else do I want to ask? I realize there's all these nice and beautiful ways of life over here. I say different account systems. I want to ask them about different account systems. I want to get as much information as possible. I say different account systems. And what I want to do now, also, I want to book another appointment for next Monday. And we'll do that. Whereas now, that's much better for me. Because I come back, and I come back again, and I come back in a way I'm learning. So I always keep booking appointments at the bank to ask them more information and more information and more information until I fucking understand. I'll show you something. I do that always until I understand the information. So I keep booking more appointments and more appointments with the banks. And if they ask me to stop recording altogether, I just do it. Understand? If they ask me about life, and if I'm recording them, I say I'm recording myself. I'm not recording them. I just say I'm never recording you. And that way I just move on. I move on quickly. So if I'm talking to them, I make sure I record my voice. I record everything. I want to record the whole conversation because that way you understand straight away what I mean. So make sure you never ever looking at yourself as anything other than words. So make sure you have words to give. And make sure you understand that what's important is understanding. If you want to be rich and you want to understand any kind of events, then understand anyway. I want to ask them how to recover. How to recover from a loss. I say how to recover from a loss with banks. See, I'm black or better. I want to ask about the tax systems. I want to understand that, and I want to ask them about the deals they do as well. I want to ask them about the different deals they do. when I ask them about different deals, when I get all this information, and either way, you guys can see what I'm doing. A documentary of my life right here, and I'm giving you a documentary of my life in different ways. I'm making sure either way, I'm looking at the pamphlet over here, I'm looking at certain words, I'm just reading certain words, I'm reading very quickly about the words, and all I'm reading is just the words, guys. I'm understanding anyway that the banks are compatible with the nice beautiful smartphones and everything, and all phones. So, whereas here in Australia they have NetBank, whereas there's a Commonwealth Bank app application, whereas they do receive payments each month, and they give payments out each month as well. Whereas a payment is an investment. Now either way, I'm looking to just scan the information really quickly with my nice beautiful eyes. But it's very easy to read about everything. And I want to ask him about microchips. I say microchips. I say microchips. And I have something about microchips, so yeah. Or else either way, when I see that, or else anything else, or else I'll just read words very quickly. I see there's always something different I want to understand, but I understand I love everything. I love you guys also. I love the nice and beautiful way of saying I love you. Or else anyway, or else if you want to understand anything about interest-free stuff, I want to see interest-free information. And that's all with the banks. Like I said, so let's have a look at this. I mean, this is all financial information I'm giving you. So you have to do this yourself too. And I'll give you the information anyway, but let's have a look over here. In terms of what else can I give you over here? I'll look at the nice and beautiful aspect of life over here, where I'm recording my life, and I'm recording my life differently to make sure I have a better life. Whereas now what I want to do is I understand my voice is much more projecting at you. In a way, I'm very much stronger to speak to you. I'm stronger in my reason about you. I'm stronger in my reason to talk because I push myself to talk, and that's why. And now since I'm understanding anyway, I understand I never want to read in my head while I'm reading. I just read, I scan the words, I scan each and every single word, and I just touch the word. I just touch the word with my eyes, and that's it. I'm touching all the words I see. I'm touching everything I see with my eyes, and that's it. I'm never trying to do anything about anything, but what I want to ask is their limits. What's the bank's limits as well? I want to understand the limits that they have. I want to understand any kind of potential ways of doing something. So I want to ask about the different types of aspects that banks control. I say what does I say now? I say different control systems. I say different control systems. I'm going to charge my phone as well. I want to understand anyway. I just charge my phone very quickly, and make sure you always have portable chargers charging. So what I do is first I get my blue charger, and then my pink charger, and then my white charger. And why is that? Because it's faster. It's faster for me to charge my content like this, and that's why. So I make sure I never make a mess. Make sure you guys understand that my headphones are always in my shoulder bag as well. I have a microphone in my shoulder bag also, always. Why do I have a microphone in my shoulder bag? Because I may go to a busking performance somewhere. I may do a busking performance, and either way, I always have a shoulder bag, and I have a nice and beautiful way to do microphone work somewhere. So I'm always focusing on loving my life, guys. I'm loving my life differently, and I'm making sure always that I do something different. And as I do something different, I'm making sure I'm living my life differently. And I'm understanding that other people believe that I'm just talking to someone over the phone. But guess what? It's much more how you need to go and do greater, and make sure always that I can ask him about different information over here. And then as different information comes to me, I would have all these questions going. And if they can never answer my questions, I'll just make a new appointment and ask him so many questions. I'll say deposit information. Say deposit information. Say income information. I make up freaking reasons. Guess what I realize? When I ask him income information, all this and all this and all this, they always give me different information about everything. I may have to make I'll rush it anyway. I'll make a new appointment anyway. I said make a new appointment for me next Monday as well. Does it have to be next Monday? I'm pushing no. But guess what, Brush? It's much more how I go do it sooner. I get the information sooner. So I'm learning anyway. All you can do is I save already money and everything, so I save 7 days over here, and I can make sure of that, so I can just go and just write it down anyway. I just write it down very quickly. I save 7 days right away, because I never have to wait until 7 days time to ask these questions. I save the bank asking information. and I just write a note down like that, and I just place it into my financial stuff. So I'm understanding now. I have no financial assets, but I have to upload my content quickly. Whereas now I want to place my nice and beautiful technology, and I never place my phone on my lap. I never place my phone on my lap because the phone can fall on the floor and it can break. So that's why I'm learning very quickly. But what I want to do is I want to have a better life in the process of what I'm doing. So making sure I'm always talking on the phone, and I understand that I can feel how other people have attractiveness for me. So yep, I say I'll come with you now. I thank you. I say now, what I want to do is I want to make sure now I have to go to the bank guy. So as I do that, just make sure that you take your time in a way that you never take your time, but invest your time very slowly in a way that you're investing your time the best way. So let's have a look at it here. Make sure that you guys can understand something about myself over here. So making sure now, I want to make sure, anyway, I'm going to the bank guy now, making sure I'll ask him all these questions. So how are you, boss? So how are you?
Morning.
I
Good,
say good
thanks.
morning. I say you look very good.
Huh?
I say you look very good.
Ah, thank you.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I say you are from China, or where are you from?
I was born in Indonesia.
I say Indonesia.
Yeah.
I say that's beautiful. I see you're from Manila. I see you're from Manila
No,
or no?
not Manila.
I see.
Manila is different. Manila is Philippines.
I see,
From
I see.
Jakarta.
I see you're from Jakarta.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful. I'll have to go to Jakarta.
Okay.
I just came here to ask some questions.
Sure, Danny.
I want to ask some questions over here. So I have any kind of information about interest rates. I want to understand that all the interest rates and that kind of information.
Okay. Are you still recording?
I'm just recording myself here.
Oh,
I'm not recording you.
all right. To start with, can I have your ID?
I say it.
So I'm talking to the right person.
I have
Just
no
for
worries.
privacy and security purposes.
I have no worries.
Thank you.
I just always make sure to have all the IDs. I have to give you the
Okay,
ID.
sure. No.
I say driver's license.
Yes, please. Thank you. So you still live in Queenstown or?
I live in the nice and beautiful Cairns City over there.
Okay.
I'm currently living here. I'm living here at the moment because my biological dad is here,
Okay.
and I just came to see him.
Sure. All right. And you just opened the business account, yeah?
I did just open a business account.
Yeah.
I did open it because I'm doing a lot of public speaking events.
Okay.
So I'm making sure to just give you that information.
All right. So what services that you do?
I do a lot of communication work with people. I do a lot of words with people in terms of every kind of word you can see in a dictionary. I work with those words and I help people to increase their mindset about that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, boss. Thank you.
So, what type of interest rate that you need to know? Is it for personal loan or business loan?
I want to understand all the information behind interest rates that you have.
Okay, it's available in the website, so I can share you in the website. So
I see.
It's available in the Combank website.
I can do that. I see, let's have a look. I want to go through the information with you.
Sure. Let's go together to our Combank. Okay, so business loan.
So I can do business loan.
Yeah,
I can do it.
It depends what you need. Okay.
I see. Yeah.
So for yourself, because you just start a new business, we need to know until your business is settled.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Before you apply for the business loan.
I see. I mean, with the business loan and everything in terms of business and bank information. I mean, what do you understand about the banks that you can tell me, in terms of somebody who never goes to the banks or never does something? I mean, what can you tell the banks? I mean, what can you tell people about the banks?
Okay. First of all, do you mind to stop recording first?
I'm not recording you. I'm not recording you.
But still, you can record my voice. So you're recording yourself?
I'm recording.
Or you're recording our conversation?
I'm recording myself.
Yes, but you still can. recording my voice, right?
I'm only recording me.
All right. So you better ask me for permission first.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Can we stop the recording
know
first,
it.
please?
I know
Yeah.
it. See, so no matter what, you can realize every single day that when you're actually doing something around information with people, I mean, just make sure you're always finding people's information, making sure every single day that you're doing business around the banks and finances every single day, and then you're making sure that no matter what, you're just learning very quickly about what's happening around financial information about the world and making sure that you can go and really, really persuade people about what you're doing. So if you understand that in terms of what in terms of what you're doing every single day, to focus on having that attractive factor always about life and making sure that no matter what, you're always reading the information that people are giving you. So if people give you a pamphlet or something like that about the information of everything, but make sure you also understand that if they give you some type of information about everything, that you also go and study everything they're doing on their websites in terms of information, and you're always focusing upon life and how people are treating you in terms of what's happening, and making sure that you have a better way of life for yourself. So when you have a better way of life and you're focusing on a greater life for yourself, then making sure you understand that no matter what, that you're always searching up for every kind of information in the world to make sure that no matter what, that you can realize, for example, with the banks, or should I do all sorts of deals that you want, but make sure you understand that sometimes you must understand that anyway. You must understand they have no limits in terms of the banks, and nothing in life has a limit. But if you understand anyway that if you want any type of information from the banks, then understand it's much more how you feel about the word I. I realize now, if you understand that no matter what, that if you go and really, really study upon what people are doing, then make sure every single day that you're focusing upon making sure that I had to record that conversation there. And then either way, I had to go and pause it because that guy is trying to keep his job. And now because he's trying to keep his job, I mean, he's saying, hey, please, 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 I said they may fire me if I speak here about information about the bank. So guess what, Broshi, that's why they are much more hiding information from us. Understand? When they're hiding information from us because they want to win. They want to win over other people. And if you understand anything about the banks today, approach it's much more. And you need to get all the information behind everything that's going on with the banks and institutes. But understand every single time, just try to ask about people's life experiences with the banks and also their life experiences about what's happening and then any advice they can give you about money and strategies about what's happening. But always book an appointment for a better day. So if you just had an appointment today, book an appointment again for a better day. So make sure you understand that during the week you can book an appointment with them always, and just go and read all the information and study about doing pamphlets with information with people. And then as you do information with people, just go and really, really process all that information with them, and then be able to go and really, really study upon why people are saying what they are saying in terms of life. So I realized that guy over there was with me, and I realized now he's giving me information here and there, but now didn't give me all the information. Approaching now, he gave me all he can, approaching in terms of information. But guess what? Approaching in some kind of regards, approaching is blocking information. Approaching is blocking to give you some kind of information behind the scenes. And now, why is that? Approaching, I could see it because he says that he cannot give you that information. And he said, so you must understand that if they say that, approaching it's much more how they feel about you. So you must understand that it's much more how you have to go and open that kind of conversation up to make sure that you can go and get that answer from another kind of answer or question. So make sure you understand that if they can never answer you, it's more how you feel all the time, and you're making sure that every single day that you're focusing upon a better life to make sure that you're learning very quickly upon how people are speaking about you. So you have to understand that if you are asking about more information and they are realizing about you and how you're actually just talking about types of, you're talking about different types of information, but guess what? Approach it's more how I'm very, very inspirational about what I'm doing. So since I'm asking about information and since I'm actually learning about how people are, I'm learning that I want some more information from the bank always. So since I want more information from the bank, I want to ask more information. And I want to understand every single time that I feel that I have to go and make an appointment. I have to make an appointment here. And I feel that other people are just much more fooling around. And since they're fooling around, I'll say it's more how I feel. So you must understand. So anyway, I want to make this appointment as soon as possible. Alright, now why is that? Because I understand I want to ask more information about everything, and I understand anyway. Whereas that it's just the look on people's faces when they realize that I just had an appointment with the banks, but they understand anyway that they want me to go and do much better. So I realized that no matter what, that since I realized something about the banks, or was they're very shifty on me. Why is that? I understand. I'm making an appointment with them again. I just had an appointment with them. I just had an appointment with them. But guess what? I realized either way, I realized that since I'm doing great and since I'm actually learning something quickly, I'm understanding that no matter what, if you want to go and do any kind of appointments with the banks, then make sure you keep going and keep making the information possible in your life. But it's more attractive when you're always making a nice and beautiful reputation for yourself around the banks, because what's happening is if you understand to ask questions much more about what you want, and then if you understand anyway that you're always free to choose to be understanding that whatever's happening around the world is your freedom to choose to ask questions. And now if people say, oh, well, you just make an appointment with me, man. I mean, yeah, I want to ask you more questions. I have more questions. I said, Rashid, guess what? Keep booking the same appointment with them in a different way. And guess what? You're making sure that you, for example, have somebody in your life that you may have an appointment with, but keep seeing them every single week or something like that. And you're always focusing on making sure that you're learning how people treat you. Or if you're learning how if you're learning how people treat you, or you're just making sure that no matter what happens, I can feel the tension, I'll show you something. I can feel people. I apologize for this, but guess what? I feel people here never really understand why I really go where. They never really understand why I'm asking more questions. It's I get to see the looks on their faces to say, hey, this guy actually wants some information from us. But guess what? I'm approaching how I'm actually doing life. I'm doing life in a greater way. And since I'm understanding the looks first it's just the looks on their faces. They cannot believe I'm asking more questions. You can imagine the faces. You can imagine their faces. But what is that? First, that's more how you're in control of them. You're controlling them for information. So if you're controlling somebody for information, you can see the reaction. Guess what? Whereas if you're controlling people for information, then you can see exactly the information about you. You can see how they treat you in information. And they're very shifty about me. I love that. Now they're very shifty about me because I'm asking more questions. But I see the facade. I see the facade because there's always much more going on. So what I want to do is I realize this. I have to just learn a bit. But I'm just focusing on making sure that I'm treating people nicely. And I'm treating people better, but if they ask anything about me, I just want to make sure that you understand something about life. I realize it's much more how I feel. And I'm getting the life story of Danny Miller Boy with you. So never ever believe that you're breaking up. But you're making sure that you're just learning. And now since you're learning something about life, you're making sure that no matter what, you want to do greater, and you want to make sure always to never leave your keys or anything on the table somewhere. In a sense, because why? I realize because always bring your keys with you. Bring your kids with you. If you have kids on the table somewhere, and your wife is next to you, give your kids to her or something. I love it. Why are you leaving keys on the table when your wife is next to you? I'm just seen a guy, he has an appointment with the bank, but he left his keys and his sunglasses and all this, and he says with glasses on the table. So guess what? It's more how you have to understand to spread the information on people. Spread so much information about people in a way that you're learning about them and how they're treating you. And now, if they have something to say every single day about you, then focus upon understanding. It's much more how you need to be much more in treatment of yourself here to ask more questions regardless of how people are treating you. Essentially, you want to have the greatest deal on the planet in a way that you're doing greater. Essentially, you're doing greater, and you're making sure that you understand straight away. If you're asking more questions, then go and ask more questions. And why is that? Why do I go back to the banks and back to the banks and back to the banks to ask more questions? I have to make sure either way that I'm doing greater and greater and greater. But I can see anyway. I realize what's amazing is that I open up in different ways. I open up in a way that I can feel tension. I can see these people who just are losing in life, and they're losing in life because I'm asking questions. So when they see that I'm asking more questions with the banks, when it opens up that this man or somebody in your life is asking you more questions, even though you just did you just gave him all the fucking answers, and they're still asking you questions. And then you're like, oh, you're like, what the fuck? He's still asking me questions. You gave him all the fucking answers, but they come back to you to ask more questions. And then you fucking give them all the answers again, and they're still coming back to you to ask more questions. That's the fucking, that's the kind of deal I get with these people over here, and it's much more how they are unbelievable in a way that I believe them, but you must understand that they go in the way of unbelieving, those are unbelievable ways of life. And so focus on understanding that if you want to go and do great, and you want to do great upon what you're doing, and then focus upon understanding that if people have appointments up to you, never rush your appointment to do anything else. Make sure you understand how to talk to people all the time, and you're always focusing on making sure that if you want to go do something greater, you go and understand the attractive factor about you is that you ask questions and ask more questions about people and what's happening around the world. Because what's amazing is understand that you have to accept people for what's happening, and you have to understand always to focus upon every single day learning the life of what you need. So if you want to do something greater every single day, then focus upon every single day loving your life in different ways to focus upon something that is working for you. So I understand that can happen always. So focus upon understanding that what is amazing is anything can happen with anybody. They can go for the lowest of the low or the highest for the high. It can always happen. And it's so desperate. In a sense that people are so desperate for anything, which they can always get, which they can go and do it. But what you do is focus upon leadership with people and focus upon talking to them in a way that you learn about something. Learn about understanding. If you go to different branches to ask questions, you can. But if you ask questions anywhere, go anywhere to ask questions. Keep going and keep going and keep going. The whole point of life is making sure that you're learning very quickly upon how to be much more. But if people are treating you no good, then guess what? Probably you should just treat them better and better and better. Probably that's on them. Probably it's on them if they treat you however they treat you. Just make sure that you're treating everybody better. But if you treat people better, that is the best way. Probably how they treat you is never how you treat them, but how they treat you is how you treat them better. Treat them better. Never treat them how they treat you. The same part. Guess what? Approach if Jesus Christ teaches you anything about life, guess what? Approach you have to teach Jesus Christ something about your life. Approach it's that kind of transaction. So we're always looking for teaching each other much better. But guess what? If you want to treat people better, then understand it. That's the best way. But better words equals better life. Now with the banks, I was asking all these different questions, but I'm understanding now that I have some more information, and definitely the guy did help me with information regarding the banks. And now the banks are giving these loans and schemes, and they're doing everything around personal loan and business loan accounts. That's the main categories of emergencies, and also anything to do with any supplements or anything in terms of credit card loans or any kind of loans or business deals. It's all going through business loans and credit card loans and personal loans. In that sense, the business loans is much more for people who are using much more, let's say, money in life to do loans with money, and personal loans is something to do with personal type stuff, where it's never a business, but it's just personal loans. They may need a nice, beautiful question over here, where they may need a car or personal loan to get a house or something. It's never a business. The personal loan is never a business loan, but a business loan is also a personal loan. You understand? So get yourself business loans. Business loan is more of a personal loan than a personal loan only, because a personal loan is never a business loan, but a business loan is a personal loan. Understand? So what you want to do is understand that, and now credit card loan is more of a personal loan. But it's also a business loan. Anything that's a credit card is a business loan and also a personal loan. But personal loans can also be business loans. So what kind of loan do you need? There's all different types of loans that you can do. But make sure you understand another one. Watching now with credit card loans and everything in terms of mortgage rates, anything to do with interest rates today, any kind of loan rates, or any kind of fixed rates, or any kind of loan rates, always go for a lower percentage. Always go for a lower percentage loans and rates and fixed rates and all that. Why is that? Because when you go for lower fixed rates and all that, in terms of loans, then you're always focusing on making sure you're learning. I want you guys to see that these bank people over here are very shifty on me. And why is that? They're shifty on me in a way that you have to understand that. They see that I'm recording. They see I'm recording knowledge. I'm recording a lot of software around here. And they are just totally against me. They're totally against me asking questions. They're totally against me doing anything about asking questions. And I was asking this lady questions. But I'm saying, hey, I mean, I'm booking my appointment for a better time with you guys. But guess what? I mean, they jealous when Jesus Christ can see this. And guess what? I'm approaching now. You must understand, I love everything. But the thing is that if people are so jealous of you that you're asking questions, they're blocking themselves to give you answers. How can you even be with people who never want to give you answers? Or you can never be with those people when they hate you. They're blocking themselves. Oh my God. Love life. This Jesus Christ is saying that this is standing the test of eternity, man. Love life. So as I really do life, I'm understanding that no matter what, I see straight away how shifty they are. They're so shifty about me. 4 of them. 4 people. And so as I really understand, I'm lifting myself in the process of what I'm doing. So as I lift myself, I can feel myself lifting in different ways. I'm understanding I have a greater life. I'm richer. I feel richer now. And why is that? Because I feel I've just done myself a greater favor by going to the actual banks to be able to go and do this nice and beautiful life in terms of what I'm doing. So I'm understanding that if you want to go and really, really study the art of what you're doing, then focus upon understanding that it's much more about making sure that if you go and really, really enjoy yourself and your life and what you have daily, and just make sure you understand that no matter what, if people never want to give you information and they really hate giving you information, after you just understand you have all the answers, and then guess what? You ask more questions. Because you're never blocking yourself. But they look at you like, what the fuck? When he just came and the person gave him all the information. That's the most funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Imagine going to Jesus Christ, and this is Jesus Christ now. You go to Jesus Christ and you say, give me all the information of God. Jesus Christ says, it's the word I. And then guess what? I promise you make another appointment with Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ says, what is it? You're saying, Jesus Christ, I want more information about God. Jesus Christ says, I gave you everything, but I want to give you more information because you're asking for it. So guess what? Jesus Christ goes and takes you for a story about God somewhere. And he gives you one story about God that maybe, let's say, 15 seconds on the way. Watch now. Guess what? Either way, you learn that God went to the jungle, and that God met Tarzan, and that God was with Tarzan, and this is what they learned. Watch it. Jesus Christ asks you, did you learn? You say yes. Either way, you make another booking with Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ says, what is it now? I already gave you information about God. You're saying to Jesus Christ, I want to learn more about God. Jesus Christ says, I'll give you another story. But that's the thing. They have no skills to actually teach you anything. Understand? But God always gives you another story about God and gives you another perspective. And gives you another perspective. God gives you another perspective and another perspective and another perspective. But those people believe that there's only one perspective in life. And now there is one. I realize now there is only one perspective in life. But there's different types of one perspectives. There's different types of people who can give different perspectives too. And so what I do is I realize something now. Since that's the case, I realize it's much more how I'm free anyway. I'm free to do what I need to do. But I'm learning much more about how I do life. And now I can see straight away how I feel that somebody may come see me because they're so shifty about me that they want to actually explain what's going on with me. And let it be, because I understand every single time I'm learning very quickly upon what's happening with my life, and I focus upon understanding that now I can see straight away how people look at me from that angle, and the angle of what? The angle of how they lie in terms of how fake they are toward me, but in a way they're honest to some degree. But I'm understanding now, since I'm learning very quickly upon what's happening, I have to go do my business cards, and I have to give my business cards personally to people that help me. So since I actually give people business cards, make sure that no matter what I do, I feel that other people are very honest about me. So I'm understanding that those people I gave my business card to just recently, approach they want to come to my nice and beautiful event. And that's it. Approach now, it's much more how I feel. Approach now, you must understand, if you invite somebody personally to your event, they're much more likely to come because you gave it personally by hand. But it's much more how life is going quickly. And life goes very quickly. And you must understand that if you want to understand anything about life, you can understand every single day that you just go and do something about whatever it is, to study upon whatever it is, to make sure that you are learning quickly about the nice and beautiful deed of life. So you must understand that if you want to invite somebody, you make sure you invite somebody that you want at your event, and that's it. I mean, so I want everybody at my event. I mean, I gave them invites already. I gave everybody invites already. But if you want to do it personally, I promise you, it's much better how I feel. I mean, go to the people and give them personal invites where you need to, and then make sure every single day you're focusing always upon what you need about life. So if you need a greater way of life for yourself, then you're focusing always upon something that's better. So you're always understanding how to actually go and do greater. So if you understand all the time that what you want to do is always meet people face to face, but make sure you understand to move on along to your kind of lifestyle, and you're focusing on making sure that you go and understand. Now for myself, I have to go to Officeworks now, and I have to stop at Officeworks, and I have to actually go and let it be. I have to go and let it be. From that point, I go and walk it to the nice and beautiful Busby over there, and I go to Busby, and I make sure to just walk around and do my business cards around Busby this time, and I make sure that I feel that it's much better for myself to just do that, because that way I understand that I'm free to expose myself in what I need daily, to make sure that I can go to the bus stop and I can just rotate myself around to make sure that no matter what, that I realize something. It's much more how I feel. So, alright, so now if you want to go and really understand something about life, then the information can get you to a better place. But every single day, you must understand that no matter what you're doing, that you must understand it's much more how people are asking you always questions. And now that's the best thing. I mean, when they're asking you questions, I mean, now you're actually understanding that no matter what, that you're just much more. You understand? So all the time, just understand that you have a reputation for asking questions. I mean, that's a great reputation. First, a great reputation. I mean, say because that's how you get ahead. Because I see how passionate people are about me. Whereas now, how passionate are they really about me? Unfortunately, they're very passionate to the point that they're trying to really find out what am I mean, they're trying to really find out what kind of questions am I asking. You understand? So every single day, unfortunately, it's more how I feel. So when I feel different aspects of life, I feel that the banks over here, unfortunately, what happens is sometimes people say, oh, it's all on the website. I mean, you're on the website, man. When you ask them one question, they say, it's all on the website. And then you ask another question and they say, it's all on the website. Whereas now, since it's the website all the time, and making sure all the time that I feel how I feel attractive. I feel so attractive that other people want me. Whereas now, since I understand that, I feel how I understand. I understand every single day how I need to just enjoy it. And since I enjoy it so much more in life, I can see straight away that when they look at me, I realize that straight away I can see they're single. I can straight away understand how I feel. I can see by their facial reactions. I can see straight away how I feel all the time. I can see all the time how I understand that no matter what I do, that I'm just learning about myself. I'm learning how to give an event. I'm learning something different. I'm making sure that I understand I can do my busking event here in the corner. I'm not saying anyway, but since I do that, or else I can do it right here at the corner. And that's amazing, yeah? I mean, make sure you understand that no matter what you're doing every single day, you're focusing on making sure that you're learning very quickly upon the art of persuasion daily, and you're making sure that no matter what you're doing all the time, you're focusing on making sure that you're loving yourself. I mean, you have to be loving yourself, and you have to be talking on the phone with yourself daily, but just making sure that always you understand that life is quickly going, and you must understand that you must be speaking more words. And you have to speak more words regardless, but the more words you speak, the better for you. I mean, since so you're always focusing on understanding that no matter what, I'm always never going where there was violence against me. And I'm never going where people were, let's say, giving, let's say, a knife to me, or let's say, anything in terms of that. So I'm always going where people give. I'm going where people give, but I'm never going where somebody did, let's say, pull out a knife on me before, or where people were violent with me before. I never go where the violence was with me before. I never go with the violent situations where I found myself in violent situations before was. In a sense, so every single day I just go to places where there's no violence in my life. I mean, if you had violence in your high school, I love it. I mean, they'd never ever go there again. I mean, if you had violence at that cafe shop at some point in your life, or some place in your life, and you had violence in that situation, they'd never go to that place, or never be at that place. I mean, never step forward in that zone ever again. Because just learn from that. I mean, just learn from that situation. I mean, go and do something different. I mean, in a sense, what you need to do is realize that if you want to be more attractive, then you need to speak more words. Because I see how people live life. I see people living life slowly. And they're living life slowly to the point that they are struggling, and they're struggling for money. I mean, they're struggling to speak words, when they're struggling to live life, when they're struggling to do anything but themselves in a way that is just getting by. I mean, they're just getting by with words today. I mean, they're saying, but that's how it is. I understand straight away how I feel and how I'm rocking the world. I'm going around the world because I have so much to give. I have personal invites I can send to people, and I can bring people to my events online. And I'm giving business cards all the time. I'm making sure all the time I focus upon something different. I understand this man over here wants to see me because, I mean, he was once my age. I mean, he wants to look at me because he was once my age. I mean, understand? I mean, it's different like that. I can see some wisdom about that. Well, there's a big difference. So what I do is, I understand he's happy. I understand he's somewhat happy. I understand. So what I want to do is I learn very quickly upon how people are, and how people are is how you treat them. I understand. So make sure you understand, if you want to do something amazing for yourself, then make sure that you treat yourself better. I mean, treat everybody better around you. And then understand always that you go and be lifting people and your scenarios up in different places, and give people your business card. I mean, let people see exactly what you're doing, because that way you're always you're always enjoying yourself, and you make sure always that no matter what, you understand that some people who look at you in terms of life are single. I mean, so I understand that no matter what, I can see that woman over there, I can say she's single. I make sure all the time I feel how they never feel attractive for me. I promise you. I can see it. I can see they never feel attractive for me. Or else any woman who feels attractive for me can have me. And that's it. Unfortunately, it's much more how even people, in terms of anybody, I mean, I can see straight away what's happening. I can see how people argue about money and they have no support, and it's much more how you need to go and grow yourself. And you need to understand how they're so much in misery because of the drugs they're doing, that they look like people who are drug addicts, and it's because they are in misery about life. I understand it's because they have no words to give, but I understand how dangerous life can be as well. So what I need to do always is focus upon my love for I, in terms of giving the words and everything like that. Because what I focus upon is my words in terms of how I live life. But if somebody never lets you to record them with video, then guess what? Approaching they're dangerous people. If somebody never lets you record the audio that you want to record, or if somebody never lets you record videos or write about them, or even promote them, I'm pretty sure they're very dangerous people. And they're very dangerous, so stay away from them. I stand Lil Bar, for example. I mean, Lil Bar, I went to promote her as well. I went to actually promote her image, and she says, "Fuck off, and never fucking promote my image on your Instagram." I have a song with her. Come and check out my song with her in terms of Lil Bar. I mean, she sings beautifully and everything, but she never wants me to promote. She never wants me to promote her image. I mean, the sense of what I do is I move on. I understand either way. I gave money to have her around, so no matter what. And now, since I did do a nice and beautiful track with her, I gave money for it, so I deserve to have her voice. So that's it. I mean, she has nothing to say about that. But the thing is that you must understand that since I'm always promoting myself all the time, I'm learning quickly about life. I'm learning about how people are. I'm learning about the different people around me. I'm understanding that they are just people who need to go and do better all the time. So I'm understanding that when I want to do something every single day, I'm understanding that if they feel attractive for me, then they come and get me. I mean, I understand that what's important for myself all the time is I focus upon understanding that I always have better. When I see a person, I always have better. I say, I'm Jesus Christ, and I always have better. I mean, in a sense, but that's the most thing you can get. Because the most you can get is Jesus Christ. And that's how I feel. I love it. I'm never sick. I'm making sure that no matter what, I'm learning very quickly upon what's happening around the world. Now, as I learn, I make sure I'm very successful in what I'm doing. And I'm never ever waiting to speak up more words, but I'm understanding how people of different ages are just different ways of life. Because of different ways of life, I realize they're able to be positive in a way that they understand I'm doing something around speaking to people. And I understand now, since I understand how people can try to block you from recording, they try to block you from asking questions, or they never want you to ask more questions, or they want you to ask questions somewhere else, which is again dangerous. People who never want to answer you are dangerous people. In a sense, so just move on. I mean, it's because they take it literally. I mean, they take the bank literally, these people, and they do exactly as they need to do, as the bank tells them to. And guess what? They work for people who are blocking information from people. So what I do is I move on, because there are people even on the other way, in other realms of life, and they never want to give you information about anything. And when they never want to give you information, it's because they're poor people. I mean, never ever block yourself from giving information. I mean, make sure you always understand that what you need to do is a better way of life. But make sure you understand that what you need to do daily is understand all the time to just let your daughter or son be in a way that you understand that no matter what, you have to carry them sometimes. And you have to understand that no matter what, that you realize quickly that it's much more how you feel. And you have to understand that if you really, really understand that you hold their hand and you can carry them too, because that's how it is. So I'm learning much more about the art of taking care of other people, because that's how it is. I mean, every single day focus upon understanding that what's important is never the drugs with people. Actually, what's important is the communication of words with people. And now, as I really study upon life, I really understand no matter what, that I can see this one here has attraction with me. But what I'm doing is I'm doing better. I'm always doing better. Because every single time, if they never approach you while they have attraction with you, then guess what? I mean, guess what happens? I mean, then you understand straight away. It's much more how I feel. They're doing better. They're doing better in terms of attraction. And guess what? It's much more how I need to do better also. And that's it. Now, all the time, if somebody who has attraction for you never tries to get you, then they miss out on you, and that's it. I mean, so that's how quick it is. So if you're in that situation where you want somebody and you see the attraction, then approach them quickly. Approach them that moment quickly. And say, hey, I want you to come to my business account. I want you to come to my business event. I want you to come to my public speaking event. And be ready to give that kind of invite. Or as soon as you give them the invite, or now if they show up, or now it's the first opportunity to get you. Or that's how you can get people in your life. I mean, you get people by giving them a business card to find you, or your business card events and business card together. And that way you understand either way. You're always promoting one event or two events or three events, or any events that are never sold out in your event life. And make sure you understand that if you have 10 events that need to be sold out, I'm pretty sure that's a big way to say that you need to do much more promotion. You need to do much more promotion to have that many events. And so make sure you understand you do one event per month, and then guess what? Promotion from that point. Promotion, then you can do one event per week. Promotion from that point, because people understand you, that you are promoting yourself, and that's the whole journey. I mean, the whole journey is promote yourself daily. You go around yourself only in terms of your word life, in terms of your nice and beautiful way of what you're doing, and then focus upon understanding that what's important is never the cigarettes. I never smoke cigarettes. You understand? I mean, make sure you understand how to go and promote yourself in different ways. Promote yourself in ways that you have to understand. If you find yourself around people going and waiting on the bus, and you're waiting for the bus or something, with people who are trying to catch the bus, guess what? You never want to be in that situation. You never want to be in a situation where you have to catch a bus with average people who are just a crowd and community, but have yourself an Uber driver pick you up always. Have yourself a separate Uber driver always picking you up somewhere. That's the best way you can go through life rich. That's the richest way. The richest way is understanding that now the nice and beautiful limo is the richest way. That a limo gets you all the time to get you to the hotel. That's it. That's the richest way to be. The richest way to be is a limo or Mercedes or something like that, but it's just a limo. Look rich with a limo. Always. So understand no matter what, that if the police are, let's say, surrounding an area somewhere where a limo may be, then somebody who is very high in, who's very high in importance is in that area, and they want to go in that area to, let's say, do better, and they want to go and promote themselves like that. So either way, you must understand that is what happens when you get very important. And why is that? Because they build this nice and beautiful reputation, and then guess what happens? They're trying to protect themselves, so they get police around them. They invite the police around them, and they make sure always to go and just do yourself a favor and make sure that you keep going. And they'll be afraid to speak to people, and make sure you're on top of people. always. Like people always see that you're recording them or something like that. And guess what? I promise you, they can ask you to turn it off. I mean, just turn it off if you want to talk to them. But if you don't want to talk to them, then move on and record the conversation. I mean, in that sense, every single day, focus on understanding. You have to respect people when they ask you something. And if you want to talk to them and you want to understand that, others now, if you want a service from them, then be willing to give them a service of stopping the recording so you can get the service, and that's it. In a sense, so that's why I understand that the banks never want you to record their seminars and what they have going. And the banks never ever go making these, let's say, the banks never go making these seminars around town like public speaking events. They never want to make any kind of public speaking events around the bank's information and all that, because they never ever try to promote their information other than the website. They want only to give you what's on the website. In a sense, what I do now with the bank's information is I go Commonwealth Bank somewhere else to ask more information. Because these people at Commonwealth Bank here are the people who never want to give me an applause. And they never want to give me an applause. So I never show up where they never want to answer me. I just learned something now. I never again go to the Liverpool bank account over here. So if you recognize somebody, just say hello and just really talk to them. Ja te gledam, ja tebe vidim. Ja vidim ko si ti, ja sam tebe vidio pre.
Šta radiš ti?
Ja vidim kako si.
Dobro sam, šta radiš ti?
Ja sam dobar, pa se sjećaš mene?
Ne.
Ja sam Deni Milivojević. Pa kako si? Ja kažem ajde ti dođi ko mene, ja imam jedan...
Šta imaš?
Ja imam ovdje biznis, ja radim nešto od 28. maj, odu Malti, Zagreb se oklapa, dođi ti i Đole i Radovan i Slobo, pa dođite.
Okej, ajde imam nešto sa njime, vidimo se, hvala ti.
Ja kažem, no worries. I say every single time, but what's amazing is I just seen someone from the past over here, but this guy over here never even recognizes me, man. I understand, because he's getting so old. I know him be, but I invite him. I gave him my pamphlet, I gave him the last one, but no, I have more coming. And now I gave him my nice and beautiful events that's coming up. But what I need to do now is I realize something. Or else I have to go to my biological dad's house. So what I want to do now is go all the way to my biological dad's house, because I have to get the car. I have to get his car now. And then I'll go to Officeworks. And it's much better for me to do that. But I realize something. Or else I need to make sure that no matter what I do, I focus on a better way now. To focus upon being greater in a way that I'm learning. I'm learning something about life. I'm making sure I have more money in the process. I'm making sure that my financial ability over here is doing greater. So what I need to do is understand the time itself is something I never waste. I never waste time here. So all I can do is make more money here. So I'll make sure anyway that since I'm making more money, I go the way of just going to my biological dad's now. And that way I understand I save the walk. I save a 20-minute walk here. And I save $10 and 20 minutes. That's all the money in the world. If you go to a rich man and you say, or a rich woman and you say, I did save $20. Then you look like you're poor or something. But if you say, I did save 20 minutes of my life. And $20. And now you look rich straight away in front of those people. Why? Because 20 minutes of your life is more than $20. So if you want to talk to rich people and you say, this is how you save 1 hour of your life, and this is how you save 20 minutes of your life, and this is how you save extra 3 years of your life, and you teach this only at public speaking events, and now this is the real financial way of talking about money, and it's saving time. And if you want to save time, then you can save a lot of money in the process. But if you want to only save money and never your time, then you never have money and you never have time. But if you save time in your life, then you save the money. You understand? I promise you now, savers are never losers. You understand? Because Jesus Christ saves us all. You understand? So make sure you understand that if you're saving just plastic money, then anybody who's saving plastic money is a loser. But guess what? If you save plastic money when you need to, I'm promise you now, you're never a loser. You're never a loser if you have to save plastic money to have food and drink on a table. You understand? I love that. There's a big deal here. And make sure you understand that every single time that anybody who saves money or plastic money to just save plastic money is a loser. Unfortunately, that's the only way anybody is a loser in life. I understand. So make sure you understand that what you do is anybody who never follows the 10 Commandments of God is a loser. Unfortunately, and that's it. Unfortunately, now what I do now is I focus on making sure that now, since I did save $10 now, because I did save $10 and 20 minutes together. I do save $10 and 20 minutes, guys. So forget the $10. I mean, look at the 20 minutes I do save. So what you do around events is you go around events, making sure that people are saving time. And give the time information here is what we need. I mean, you understand? So that's how you make people rich. I mean, you make people rich through time. And then when people ask you how do you make money, I mean, make sure you understand. You just say Jesus Christ is how I make money. Rosh, that's it. Rosh, that's how you make money always. Understand? So what you need to do is if they're never happy with that information, then tell them to leave, and that's it. I'm never telling them to leave. I mean, just say, I mean, then you can leave. I mean, say you can leave, sir. And you can leave, sir, straight away if you never understand that. Rosh, you understand? So make sure you understand always to be giving your nice and beautiful way of life always in different ways to make sure that you're learning. I save the transport and walk. Otherwise, either way, I'm just at the bus stop here, and why I'm at the bus stop, I'm learning something different. I'm learning something different about my life in a way of difference to make sure I never want to call other people to pick me up other than the Uber driver. I never want my biological family to pick me up. I want to make sure that you guys understand that when I go throughout life, that I make sure that only the Uber driver can pick me up. And now, I understand that no matter what, eventually, I just want to make sure that I can go with the limo eventually somewhere, but I make sure that Uber and limo is the only way that other people are picking me up, and it's never my biological family that picks me up, or friends. Mostly just people who I give money to, or just random who pick me up. I understand, and that's how I live life. I live life making sure that I'm giving more content. I'm making sure I'm recording my life in the process, and I'm making sure I just do this nice and beautiful favor here to make sure that you guys can understand something. And I just say I save via transport and walk. I'll make sure either way I save much more. Make sure either way, if you want to go and do much greater, then just make sure that you're uploading all your information online and do it quickly so that you never lose it.